What's going on, people? It's me, TheRealMossi, with another Battlefield 3 quick tip for you. This time I'm going to be talking about the best tank setups for different situations. I'll be going over 3 different situations. They are aggressive, defensive, and lone wolf. I was going to try to squeeze all 3 different situations into one video, but the videos are supposed to be quick tips. And I didn't want you sitting there watching a 10 or 15 minute long video and end up with information overload. So I've split up the 3 different situations into 3 sequential videos to serve you better. Let's get started. We're going to start off with the aggressive situation, but before I get into it, I'll go over the different options available for both the driver and the gunner. There are 3 different slots for the driver: the vehicle upgrades, vehicle gadgets, and vehicle weapons. In the vehicle upgrade slot, the driver has the following options. In the brackets, you'll see the experience required to unlock each of the options. Here are the options for the vehicle gadget slot and the options for the vehicle weapon slot. There's also a permanent upgrade called the CITV station. It doesn't take up one of the 3 slots, and once unlocked, it'll be available every time you access the tank. The CITV station is a 3rd seat in the tank, which is used to laser designate targets. Its effects are pretty much the same as that of the SOFLAM and the laser painter in helicopters. For more information on laser designation, check out quick tip 7 and 8. The links will be available at the end of the video. This setup requires a gunner. The gunner can contribute one of the following vehicle upgrades to the driver's setup. So if you select one of these options as your vehicle upgrade, it'll benefit the tank regardless of whether you're the driver or the gunner. The vehicle gadget and vehicle weapon options, on the other hand, will only apply to the tank if you're the driver. Besides providing extra upgrades and taking out infantry with the LMG, the gunner has another very important job: spotting. The gunner should always be looking around and spamming the spot button to spot not only enemy vehicles and infantry, but also enemy gadgets, especially mines. Once spotted, the enemy mines will show up as orange icons on the minimap. By spotting mines, you'll be doing the driver a huge favor. Also, if you're the gunner and you have the CITV station unlocked, you can press X or A on the Xbox 360 to switch to the 3rd seat and laser designate targets. I'll get back to this later. Alright, now let's get into the aggressive setup. You should use this setup when going up against an enemy team that doesn't have strong anti-tank soldiers. So we're talking about a situation where you don't have entire squads shooting RPGs at your tank or paving the streets with mines. Here you're not too worried about defense. You want to focus on causing as much damage as possible. If you're lucky enough to find yourself in this situation, here's the setup you should go with. For the vehicle upgrade, go with the autoloader. The autoloader allows your tank's main cannon to reload faster. How much faster? Half a second faster. This might not seem like much, but if you're going head to head against another tank, getting your shot off first will save you an untimely death. For the vehicle gadget slot, the hands down winner in this situation is thermal optics. The thermal optics will let you pick out enemy vehicles from long distances, and it helps you spot enemy infantry easily even without the proximity scan. The only reason you should choose zoom optics over thermal optics is if you're a beginner and you have a hard time aiming at long distances. In this case, having zoom optics might help you out. Alright, now for the vehicle weapon slot, go with the guided shell. Since you have a gunner to take out infantry, you won't need the coaxial LMG or HMG. The guided shell is very useful against enemy vehicles. You can switch to the guided shell while your main cannon is cooling down to increase the damage dealt to the enemy vehicle. It needs to lock onto the enemy vehicle before firing. I'll get back to this in a bit. Let's move on to the gunner. The gunner's contribution to the setup should be the proximity scan. The proximity scan reveals all enemy soldiers and some gadgets like spawn beacons that are within about a 15 to 20 meter radius of your tank. This is a good option if you're going up against an infantry heavy enemy team. It'll help you weed out all the foot soldiers hiding in high traffic areas. Alright, back to the guided shell. Normally, the tank's guided shell can only lock onto enemy land vehicles, but with the help of the laser designator, it can also lock onto and take out aircrafts. To do this, the gunner has to have the CITV station unlocked and switch to the CITV station, which is the 3rd seat, by pressing X or A on the Xbox 360. Make sure there isn't any enemy infantry nearby before switching to the CITV station. Now, the gunner can point the CITV station laser designator at enemy aircrafts to target them. Once locked on, the driver can fire the guided shells at the enemy aircraft. These shells are very powerful against aircrafts. and once locked on, they cannot be deterred by the enemy aircraft's IR flares. If you're going up against an enemy team that uses a lot of aircrafts, you can set your tank up at a safe spot away from other land vehicles and use it as a designated anti-aircraft vehicle, using the CITV station and the guided shells. Alright, before I finish up, I have a little tip for the gunners. The gunner has to be on the engineer kit with the repair tool equipped for this one. This tip is pretty obvious, but not too many gunners seem to do this. When the driver is engaging an enemy tank and there aren't any enemy foot soldiers nearby, don't just sit in the gunner seat and shoot at the enemy tank with the mounted LMG. The gunner's mounted LMG does nothing to heavy armored vehicles. Instead, you should jump out and start repairing your tank from behind while the driver is engaging the enemy tank. If you repair your tank in battle while the enemy driver has no one to repair his tank, your driver will always win the tank fight. Just make sure you're repairing from a safe side away from all the explosions. Alright guys, I hope this tank setup helps you dominate in aggressive situations. In the next quick tip, I'll go over the best defensive setup. If you want more information on laser designators or destroying vehicles in general, check out the quick tips on the screen. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe if you want more. Thanks again, I am TheRealMossi. Tell your friends about me.